Or just like.
Yeah. Start our meeting. I heard that we have the recording going. As folks can tell, we don't have our traditional video set up as. Sorry, I need to set up my microphone. Thank you for that. We don't have our traditional setup since we are today hosting our meeting in the wonderful city of Beaverton. Just a quick thank you to the mayor of Beaverton, Lacey Beatty, the city council, and to a special thank you to Jocelyn Blake, who works for the city in helping us be our liaison and making this meeting happen. I will declare a quorum and call our Metro Council business meeting to order here. And Georgia, our clerk, will call roll for us.
Happy to. And councilors, if you could just make sure that your mics are on, that means that they'll have the little green light on. Thank you. All right, Councilor Nolan.
Present. Good morning.
Councilor Simpson.
Present.
Councilor Lewis and Councilor Rosenthal are excused today, and Council President Gonzalez.
Present. Thank you. Okay, good morning, everyone. I am so pleased to be here this morning in what is my home district, District 4, to appoint a new counselor to represent this community in this area. Sincere thank you to my colleagues for their support when they appointed me to this role as council president in June, leaving a vacancy in the office of counselor for District 4. Immediately following my transition to council president, Metro Council and staff worked to declare a vacancy, announce the position, and received applications for the role. We received a total of 3 applications, although we did have one applicant withdraw. As such, 2 sets of application materials are before you, as are also posted to our website and in our meeting packets. We will follow the same process as in June to interview our 2 applicants in alphabetical order by last name. That makes Josh Manis first and Miles Palacios second. And thank you both to them for joining us today in service to the region and for taking time to solicit their interest in the appointment. A quick review of the process for our applicants. We invite each of you to first share a personal statement, followed by a set of 3 questions that will come from the council. The timer for the statement will be set to 3 minutes, and you'll have up to 15 minutes for the 3 questions that are asked. The Metro staff to my right, your left, will help be our timekeepers and signal to me and to you the progress of that time. These are the same, for council, these are the same questions that were provided to you by email on Monday. After the interviews, council will then open a public hearing. You may fill out a blue card in the back of the room and bring it up front. If you are on Zoom, we'll provide instructions for raising your hand at the start of the hearing. So we will have our interviews. I also see that we will have some just open public comment as well. I was informed ahead of time, not related to the appointment. So I will look to Carrie to see if I have the ability to open a public comment, public testimony, general public testimony, but we will do that after the interviews. Thank you. So Ann and Georgia. Oh, well, I guess I welcome Josh first. Josh, thank you for joining us. You may begin your 3-minute statement as soon as you're ready. Please, up here with one of the mics, and we'll ask for you to please press the button, make sure the green light is on, and the floor is yours. Thank you.
Good morning, Council. Thank you for having me here. Thank you for everybody who's joining us in person and on Zoom. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Josh Manis. I live in Hillsboro currently. I was born and raised in Coos Bay, Oregon in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, where I really formed who I am. And part of that was I grew up as a gay teenager in rural Oregon in a time and a place where it was not acceptable. I experienced a lot of discrimination. I moved to the Portland metro region in my early 20s, hoping to find a place where I belonged and would be accepted. And I thought I would not experience that same type of discrimination. I was wrong. And because of those experiences, I have dedicated my life to serving others. Now, my career has been in the traditional retail customer service, but in recent years, I've worked as an identity theft victim advocate, helping get people's lives back for them, including getting one person out of jail. I've also worked for our men and women in uniform here in Hillsboro at 40-Year Solutions as part of the counterterrorism force protection efforts following 9/11. Now I am transitioning to public service, where I want to give back to my community. All of these things that I have learned through my life and my experiences are what I'll bring to the council. Because for me, every person in this community matters. Every voice needs to be heard. And I'll be here to speak for them. Thank you.
So much. Thank you. For the questions, a reminder, we have three. I will begin by asking Councilor Simpson to ask the first question. Councilor Nolan will then ask the second question. Councilor Huang will ask the third question. And again, you have 12 minutes to answer these, and we'll let you know as time approaches the 12-minute mark. Josh.
Metro's role as a regional government spans transportation to parks and natural areas to affordable and supportive housing and more. How would you define Metro's most critical work to serve the region in the next 10 years?
Thank you, Councilor. There's a lot of challenges facing the metro region at a grand scale as well as at the microcosm level. But I think it begins and ends with housing and neighborhoods. Too many of our fellow citizens don't have a safe, stable place to live. Previously, I was one of those individuals. I have slept on benches in downtown Portland. I have fallen asleep on the MAX train, riding from one end to the other just to stay warm. Thankfully, I was able to get out of that situation, and I now do have stable housing and have for quite some time. But I've given a lot of thought over the years to how we can better improve that. Part of the housing has to be our neighborhoods, and that's why transportation being central to where people live is so critical. I thought it interesting, here on the wall, we have a map of the Beaverton land use areas. And a lot of the space that you will see on that map is yellow, indicating low density housing region. And that's where the majority of the transportation in Beaverton is located. Why do we put the high density areas so far away from the transportation so working families can get to and from work, get to and from school, get to and from childcare? Transportation is integral to housing. But our land stewardship is also critical. We need parks, we need nature areas. We need places that the community can gather. And that's what builds a neighborhood. When we bring the three of them together, we build stable communities where everybody has the opportunity, if they so choose, to have a place to stay at night, knowing that it'll be there tomorrow as well. So for me, my priority is affordable housing. It's not just affordable rents. Too much of our efforts have been put to giving people the opportunity to rent a place to sleep. We need to give people the opportunity to own a home, build a family, and truly join a community. It's not a binary choice. We can do both of these things together. And that's what I'll be here for, is bringing ideas of how we can do both of those together.
Council President, thank you. Mr. Manis, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor.
You've touched on this, but I want to probe a little more, if you would. Metro is very clear on our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's important for us. We think it's important for the entire region. I'd like you to tell us as specifically as you can how you see yourself engaging in championing DEI efforts.
Yes, thank you, Councilor. Diversity, equity, inclusion. It's not just a set of buzzwords. It's life. If you look around this chamber, there are so many different faces and experiences coming together for a common purpose. And that's what DEI is about, is making sure that everybody's voice is heard. My efforts in DEI began before anybody even put those three words together. In the 1990s, I served as the co-chair of the Coos County Community Action Committee for HIV Education and Prevention. We helped the county health department identify better ways to deliver education and prevention opportunities to the community back when HIV was still a huge threat. We identified in our community, it was not the gay, queer community that was the community of highest threat. It was actually our BIPOC and undocumented immigrant community. And we learned this by having conversations. We learned that because of cultural beliefs, people were afraid to walk into the county health department. They didn't want to be seen by somebody in their community going in there and then being asked questions. They didn't want to go in and get tested. They didn't want to stop by for some free condoms. So we learned that the best way we could deliver those services was to go to them. And we went out into the community, into their events, into their spaces, and we provided safe places that they could slip into, have the conversations, get the testing. My efforts in DEI continued, again, before those three words were put together, when I lived here in Portland, and I served on the board of directors for the Sweethearts of Portland, a 501c3 who raises money for other organizations supporting queer youth and the homeless populations, not just in Portland, in all of Metro. I served 1 year as member at large and 1 year as the vice president of the board. We sought to help the most vulnerable in our community through our efforts. We had a lot of fun along the way. We also emceed the stage at Pride Northwest. I'm not a name you'll know a lot. You've probably never heard my name before. But it was a privilege and an honor to be on that stage just for a short period so that I could bring some joy and happiness to a community gathering to celebrate Pride. And that was huge for me. In my work, in my career, I've always sought to include the voices around me in a team meeting when I could tell somebody had something to say, but they were afraid to stand up. I invited them into the conversation because their voice needed to be heard as well. If I am selected for this interim position, I will make sure that I am available to everybody in the district who wants to share their voice. And when I'm not hearing their voice, I will find ways to invite their voice in.
Thank you.
Councilor.
Thank you so much. Councilor Huang, last question.
Thank you, President Gonzalez, and good morning. What role do you see yourself playing in communicating with the people of the region and supporting their needs and priorities?
Thank you, Councilor. This is an interim position. We have a councilor-elect set to take office in January as selected by the voters of the area. I acknowledge that. I'm not here for the long haul, honestly. I will have other opportunities to serve the public. But there needs to be somebody in this position who is willing to step aside in January. And during that time, listen to the needs of the constituency and deliver for them their voice in this council. I may not be able to always get what they need, but I will certainly speak up for them. And all they'll have to do is give me a ring, send me an email, hit me on LinkedIn, walk up to me in the grocery store, whatever the case may be, however they need to communicate to me, I will meet them there. Bring their voice here. And when they tell me they need something, if I don't understand it, I'm going to ask questions. I want to understand why they feel that need, because I may not have the same experience that they do, and their experience matters. People will be able to trust that when they come to me, they will be heard. And that's what this position is about. Good governance is the secondary. It's about bringing the voices together, and from those voices, finding the best path forward for all of the metro region. And that's what you'll get in me.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your responses. I think this concludes your interview and wonderful application. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you so much for your time. It's been a privilege.
Thank you, Mr. Manis. Okay, we will now welcome Miles Palacios. Miles, thank you for joining us. If you could join us up here at the desk, make sure that the microphone is on, and you may begin your 3-minute statement as soon as you are ready. Just as a reminder, the clock is here to your side if you want a little signal as to how you're doing on time, and then we'll ask questions.
Lovely. I'm just going to read from these words here. My name is Miles Palacios. I use he, him pronouns. I'm Oregon born and raised. I grew up in an agricultural hub where my first job out of college was making wine. From being out in the fields, in the cellar, preparing grapes for fermentation and bottling, or selling bottles in the wine bar, I did it all. Also, it was a big bummer when I realized we don't stop grapes anymore. They've got machines for that. Crazy. That experience taught me something early. Nothing meaningful happens without people working together from the ground up. I'm the son of an educator and a city employee. I was taught that leadership and service are inseparable. You don't get one without the other. And that belief has guided my entire life. It's why I committed myself to service personally and professionally, from youth leadership development to work with the legislature and local level, to serving as an elected official with Tualatin Hills Park and Recreation District and more. I've seen how government works when it works and what happens when it doesn't. My goal is to build on the work already happening here in Washington County and across the Tri-County region. That means making public transit safer and stronger district-wide. It means investing in economic development for both large and small businesses, especially in places that are driving innovation and opportunity. It means addressing affordable housing, not just for our lowest income neighbors, but for the middle-class families who are being priced out of the communities they love. It means thoughtful development that prioritizes transit hubs, connects people to jobs, and builds communities instead of congestion. And it means continuing to support Metro's essential work in waste management, parks and conservation, the zoo, and our neighbors. Because quality of life is not a luxury, it's infrastructure. A Metro Councilor is a convener, a binding agent for the region, someone who brings leaders together, aligns interests, and help our region move forward collectively. That's why I am seeking this appointment. I bring informed, proven leadership, experience as an organizer, a nonprofit executive, and an elected official. I understand how decisions are made, how policies are implemented, and how to move ideas from vision to reality. I believe in this region, its people, its potential, and its future. And I'm ready to begin serving the community that has already put their trust in me. Ready for questions.
Excellent. Right. We will have the same sequence of questions. Councilor Simpson will ask the first question. Councilor Nolan will ask the second. Councilor Huang will ask the third. Councilor.
Metro's role as the regional government spans transportation to parks and natural areas to affordable and supportive housing and more. How would you define Metro's most critical work to serve the region in the next 10 years?
Yeah, thank you for that question, Counselor. So much of what is happening in our region can fit under an umbrella with everything that we're working on within Metro, what this council is working on within Metro. Uh, there are pieces of it, transportation, economic development, housing, and they do fit really squarely under the idea of economic development. When we look at the 10 years ahead of us, I want to call to attention if you are wonky and interested in reading a really long report. The state, yes, the state demographer released a report this last year, a report that took data from the last 15 years and is looking forward another 10 years. What that data showed us is that we are leveling out when it comes to migration to our state. There are higher rates of migration out of our state, and our population is changing. That is going to drastically affect our working aged Oregonians. Right now, the ratio of people above 65 to our children under 18 is 1 to 2 in favor of our 65 plus population. In the next 10 years, this report laid out that there will be a 3% increase in our 55 to 65 age range, as well as a 8% increase for 65 plus. And that is an annual increase for the next 10 years. That's the projection. That means our working age of Oregonians, if nothing changes, is going to continue going up. That means people won't retire until they're 65 or older. And we are going to continue suffering when it comes to our region's fiscal vitality. And so that's why I think one of the most critical things that Metro can be working on right now is being thoughtful about our economic development and opportunities, what that means for both large employers and small business owners, the growth of our region, both upwards and, if necessary, considering the sprawl, but also making sure that there is intentionality through all those processes and ensuring that there is housing that is affordable for the people working in these areas, that there is transportation that will get them from point A to point B and still pursue a high quality of life. And that's why I believe that that is going to be a really critical priority for the Metro Council in the next 10 years.
Mr. President, thanks. Welcome, Mr. Palacios. DEI is a core value at Metro. I can speak with confidence about everyone sitting on this dais, as well as our two counselors who are not here today. And it is woven into what we do. My question for you is to identify a few specific efforts you will make to advance DEI within Metro and our impact on the region.
Yeah, thank you for that question, Councilor Nolan. I think a good place for me to start is the work that I've already done for different communities in the region. I want to call attention to the work I've done specifically in the nonprofit space. I think I mentioned that a lot of the work I had done in that space was within the realm of student leadership. There was a time when I ran an organization called the Oregon Association of Student Councils, worked with about 200 schools, high schools and middle schools statewide, putting on conferences where I had 1,500 high schoolers in a convention center, which was a lot. Very thankful to our educators who helped us out with those events. But a big piece of the work that we did in that space when I came on was to put an emphasis in education around equity and inclusion. This was around a time where the Trump administration had, leading up to this moment and into this moment currently, had pushed a lot of narratives to break down the verbiage of this work. And so we had the intention of changing that narrative for the work that we did within the association that I ran. And what that looked like was building an understanding of what those words actually mean: diversity, equity, and inclusion, and helping people along the way from the oldest in that space to the youngest, which meant that I began with my board at that time for the nonprofit, bringing in an equity trainer to talk about these matters. And then I took that to both school administrators and educators working directly with student leaders. And then from there, this was all over the course of a year, started putting programming into what we did with the students directly and started to push that kind of programming in the schools that we worked with. It was a great success. Our students started to understand a little bit more of what the message was that we were leading for student leadership. And we took that message into our programming, seeing increases in the participation of our students of color, our queer students, and other students who have not had, for example, the financial opportunity to participate in programs like these. I talk about that because it is very similar to the work that I've seen in other parts of local government. Even with the Tualatin Hills Park and Recreation District, there has become hubs for people of color that are employees of the district to come together. So really thinking about the internal and external nature of equity and inclusion. And one of the programs that we put together within THPRD was even opportunities for non-English speakers and families to gain assistance early in registration processes for our programs. With translators and the such, as well as staff from the district. Those types of initial programs and initiatives are critical for regional leadership. And it's also a big piece of what I'm interested in with Metro, both internally and externally. So some of the concrete pieces is building upon the conversations that we have with our supportive housing services programs, our programs around the cost of waste management, the assistance that we give for folks in the transportation space, and then also our investments in small local businesses. I know that there has been initiatives in the past that Metro has invested in to help strengthen small businesses, especially in communities of color. And so that is something that I'm interested in investing more in, but also engaging our young people with the conversations about what's happening region-wide and having them also participate in the conversation of what they would like to see in our region as we think about the forward motion of equity and inclusion, but also the fact that we are going to be passing the baton to this generation at some point. So engaging them now and identifying the necessity of inclusion across the board.
Thanks.
Thank you. Councilor Huang, last question.
Thank you. What role do you see yourself playing in communicating with the people of the region and supporting their needs and priorities?
Yeah. Throwing it back to the nonprofit here real quick. One of the really exciting things that I got to do in that role was work with a lot of adult leaders as well. We partnered with the Coalition of Oregon School Administrators, and so I would do a lot of work with school principals as well as superintendents and education service district superintendents. So a lot of that work was talking to them about how do you, as the leader in a school, connect with a population of youth and teachers? How do you make sure that they are engaged, that you know what their needs are in that community, in that space, and how do you implement and build that culture of partnership and action? The way that I used to talk about it with those educational leaders was that it's great to have an empty office, or sorry, it's great to have a open door policy, being available for people to reach out to you, to connect, knowing that you're someone who's accessible, but also recognizing the discrepancy of being an authority figure in a space and having that unequal balance of power in those relationships. And so an important aspect was talking about the difference between open door policy and an empty office policy. So the empty office idea there is that you need to meet people where they're at to be an effective leader. You need to break down institutional barriers that push back on the idea of accessibility to leaders. And that happens by being out in the community, hosting town halls and things like that, of course, but also showing up to in community groups, showing up to elected councils and other spaces to ensure that that idea, that connection about being available to your community is reinforced by your presence in the said community. And so that's going to be an important work for whomever is going to be taking this appointment to show up and to make sure that those voices are heard, prioritized, and inform the work of their Metro Councilor.
Right, wonderful. Thank you. That
Thank you.
concludes your interview. Again, thank you, Miles. Thank you to all the applicants that submitted applications and came to join us today. So now for council operations here, we're going to have a public hearing. I will open a public hearing on the vacancy in the office of Metro Councilor for District 4. Georgia, if you could please read the procedures for providing testimony. And I understand that we might have some limitations with online meeting today. So if you could describe that as well.
Absolutely. I think I might have fixed it.
Oh,
If you
great.
don't mind, if I can just do a test. Testing. It's fixed.
All right.
Perfect timing.
Exceptional.
Okay. If you're testifying, now it's time to do so. If you are testifying in person, please sign up by filling out a blue card in the back of in the middle of the room and bringing it up to me. If you are testifying on Zoom or by phone, please sign up by using the raise hand function in the reactions or more menus or by dialing *9. When it is your turn to testify, I'll call on your name or phone number. For those on Zoom, click accept to be promoted to a panelist. Your Zoom window will close briefly before you rejoin as a panelist, and you can turn on your camera if you'd like. Testimony is limited to 3 minutes. Timer begins when you begin speaking. Please state your name for the record before testifying. You do not need to give your physical address.
Yeah.
And I do believe we have some folks sign up to testify.
I think this is testimony, public
And these are-
testimony, not for this public hearing, but
Just
yes.
checking. All for public, okay.
Thank you. Unless you want to testify for the appointment.
Perfect.
Okay.
We will hold on to these for non-agenda items, but right now we have no folks who have signed up to testify on the appointment, not seeing anyone in the virtual audience or in the physical audience.
Thank you, Georgia. I will close our public hearing and move on to our nominations and voting process. Councilors, per Metro Code, today's voting process will be conducted by a written signed ballot. You have paper ballots in front of you that look like this. You may vote for an applicant who has received a nomination and a second. When the time comes, I ask that you please write a nominated and seconded candidate's name on the vote line of your ballot. As we did last time, each counselor will read aloud the candidates they voted for before our staff collect the ballots for our records. And we will vote until a single applicant receives 4 votes. So shortly, I'm going to ask for nominations, and within that process, we have a resolution that we then need to have a motion on, that we then need to have an amendment to, and then kind of work backwards from there. So it's a few different motions here, but first is our nomination. So I will entertain a nomination and any seconds on said nominations.
Council President, I'd like to nominate Miles Palacios.
Thank you, Councilor Huang. Right. We have a motion to appoint Miles Palacios. Is there a second on that motion? Yes. Oh, sorry. Thank you. So a consideration on the nomination. Thank you for the language correction there. So we have a motion by Councilor Huang.
Mr. President, I'll second.
Thank you. So we have a motion and a second. Any other nominations? Okay. Is there any, do we need to I'm looking at my script here. Do we have conversation about the applicants at this point, or?
Please turn it on so it's green.
Yeah, thank you. President Gonzalez, you can discuss candidates now. If you want to have some discussion amongst yourself, you certainly can. But the next step really in the council process is to vote, so to fill out your written ballots.
Yep.
Then by your desired procedure, you are also going to read out what your votes are before the clerk will announce those results.
Thank you. So I'm gonna follow our process here and ask for the council to read out their signed ballot cards. I'll start from my left and move to my right. Councilor Nolan.
Definitely from your left, Mr. Chair. Palacios.
Councilor Huang.
Palacios.
Councilor Simpson.
Palacios.
And my vote is for Palacios as well. So congratulations, we have 4 votes to Miles Palacios. We look forward to your service in this role. Just very quickly, if I could, again, say thank you to both candidates that came, Josh especially, for you taking the time, sharing your story, talking about your passion for this community. Your application was thorough. It's very clear that you are someone that is a incredible asset to this community, and I look forward to hopefully working with you in other ways as well. And if you ever want to apply for a Metro committee, we'd love to have you as well. Thank you.
I echo your sentiments.
So I'm pleased to now move on to our consideration of resolution number 26-5624 for the purpose of appointing a counselor to fill the vacancy in the office of Metro Councilor for Council District 4. Councilors, any questions about the resolution before we move forward with consideration and specifying the name of our chosen candidate? Okay, seeing no discussion, I will call for a motion on the resolution.
Mr. Chair, I move to amend resolution,
I think right now I just need a motion on the resolution.
on the
Yeah,
resolution,
yeah.
right, and then we amend it. I move the resolution.
Thank you, Counselor.
Second.
All right, moved by Counselor Nolan, seconded by Counselor Huang. And now I need a call to call for a request on a motion to amend resolution number 26-5624. Counselors, you have language in front of you of how you can read the resolution. If someone could make a motion for an amendment, please.
Okay. Now I do this.
Yes, thank you.
Said resolution to read ... The Metro Council appoints Miles Palacios to fill the vacancy ...
Thank you. Can I get a second on that?
Second.
Excellent. Thank you, Counselor Simpson. All right. Any additional discussion on all our motions on the table? Okay, seeing none. Yeah, absolutely. Lots of work. Okay. Georgia, if we could please call roll for the amendment.
Absolutely. Counselor Simpson,
Aye.
Counselor Wong, Counselor Nolan,
Yes.
Council President Gonzalez.
Aye. Thank you. The amendment is adopted, and now we will vote on the amended resolution number 26-5624. Georgia, if you could please call roll on the resolution.
Absolutely. Counselor Wong,
Aye.
Counselor Simpson,
Aye.
Counselor Nolan,
Yes.
Council President Gonzalez.
Aye. And there we have it. Congratulations. A round of applause. At this point, I would welcome if anyone on the council would like to share any remarks, welcoming Councilor-elect Councilor Miles Palacios. I will share just from the get-go. This is my old seat. Give me some of the best years of my professional life. It's a beautiful community, full of passion and full of need, and I think your leadership is going to be very tremendously welcomed, and I'm looking forward to working with you, Counselor. Great. Would you like to make some remarks? Please join us. What's that?
Yeah, my remarks are just that I am appreciative to my community and to this council for giving me the opportunity to get started early. And I'm really looking forward to partnering and working with my new colleagues for the betterment, not just of this District 4, but the entirety of the Tri-County area. So thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to the work ahead of us.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Finally, I would like to thank our notary, Jenny Villarreal, for joining us today. Jenny is prepared to administer the oath of office if you would like to begin your service immediately. So if you could please join us up here. Congratulations. Councilor Palacios, I welcome you to join us.
Is there a
There's no
chair?
Is there a chair? I'm sure we can find one for you. I welcome you to join us up on the dais. We have one very important bit of Metro business still, which is to open public testimony. I understand we have 4 guests here to provide general public comment to the Metro Council. And we will continue celebratory photos and things after, but want to respect the guests that we have here. Georgia, if you could please describe the roles of public communication to the council and then call folks up.
Absolutely. If you are testifying on non-agenda items, now is the time to do so. If you are testifying in person, please sign up by filling out a blue card in the back of the room and bringing it up to me in the middle of the room, excuse me. If you're testifying on Zoom or by phone, please sign up using the raise hand function in the reactions or more menus or by dialing *9. When it is your turn to testify, I'll call in your name or phone number. For those on Zoom, click accept to be promoted to a panelist. Your Zoom window will close briefly before you rejoin as a panelist, and you can turn on your camera if you'd like. Testimony is limited to 3 minutes. Timer begins when you begin speaking. Please state your name for the record before testifying. You do not need to give your physical address. And we do have some folks who have signed up to testify in person today. So I ask that you come up here, and when you come up, if you want to press the on button so that the microphone is green, then we'll be able to hear you. Thank you. First, we're going to bring up Henny Sullivan. And on deck is Alfredo Avalos.
I think they all work. Yeah.
Let's see, is this on? All right. Hi, my name's Henny Sullivan. I'm a Hillsborough resident. Thank you for your time today, Metro President, Metro Council. I moved to Hillsborough in 2019 to help a small but mighty nonprofit called Working Theory Farm. We have a dual mission to empower young people through the shared work of farming, and through that shared work to respond to community food insecurity. I think, I haven't lived in Hillsborough for all that long, but I've come to love this community and see it drastically change before my eyes. 70 years ago, Hillsborough was a town of 5,000 people, mainly farmland. It's 120,000 people. Who can keep up with the number now? And just in the last 8 years, I've seen the surrounding farmland turn into suburbs. There's lots of benefits to that. This is a much more diverse community than it was in the 1950s. There's been people moving here to, some started here harvesting in the fields, others started here for work at Intel. Hillsborough is home to people from all over the world, but also suburban growth has its downside. No, we see the housing instability that impacts community. We see the food insecurity. So we've been working over the last 7 years, we've distributed more than 100,000 pounds of food, largely through a partnership with Centro's Free Food Mercado. And in the last 5.5 years, we've employed more than 80 young people and paid more than $250,000 in direct wages to young people facing a variety of barriers, but also finding a community and finding a way to give back to community and tend to each other. I think we started with this mission and focus, but I think what's also been clear is just how hungry all community is for connection to land. Like agriculture has that word culture as a foundation of it, and communities from everywhere are hungry for connection to land. You know, whether it's seniors who grew up in the Campo in Mexico and now live in suburban apartments, whether it's Cameroonian grannies who tend for their grandkids while the parents are at Intel, whether it's Bangladeshi neighbors coming to harvest squash blossom. Like food is part of the roots of all that we do. And it's really important that as we grow, we don't just push farms farther and farther out, but we have farms that are accessible by public transit so that we can all connect to that route. So I encourage you all to consider Working Theory Farm when you have a work session on Tuesday about the Metro Large Scale Community Vision Grant for funding. And I'll leave it to some of the youth who have worked here to share their stories a little even more eloquently than I can. Thanks for your time.
Exciting.
Thank you. Now we have Alfredo Avalos, and on deck we have me or now?
Hi, my name is Alfredo. I've been working at the farm I knew the farm because I had gone on. My life was going the wrong path. I got into a program, it's called Harkings here in Hillsborough. They showed me that, like, the day that I got there, it's just like they told me like if I wanted to work at the farm, I was like, first day I got there, a lot of people was supporting me, telling me like that we had your back, like if you want to talk to us, you could talk to us, and like things I'm gonna say about the farm is that the farm is a great place for youth like me that are going through problems. Sometimes we're going through a lot that we can't explain or we taking wrong decisions like me. The farm, it's a good place because it gives food for our community. It helps animals. Um, it keeps us like distract from doing the bad things out there. Um, one thing I liked about the farm is that it's a good place. You know more about nature, and here in Oregon, it's a green place. Like how could I say? Like it's a good place where like a lot of like it has a lot of nature, like a lot of trees. I moved to Oregon in 2017, I think, or 18, 17. I don't know how to say that. I'm from Mexico, and there's a lot of things like farms there, campos, all that. Um, it's just like it's like like I don't know how to say it. I got nervous, but it's a good place where you could show yourself like how to be a grown so you could get ready to be a adult in that time. And I just like the farm. There's a lot of people that love you there and that they believe in you and that they have faith in you that you're going to change your path and you're going to the right. For the last 2, 3 months, I've been participating with the farm. I've been helping them planting the plants. I've been helping them um, do a lot of stuff like cut fruits and all that. But yeah, so I just tell you guys to keep the farms.
Thank you. Muchas gracias, joven. Thank you so much for coming. It means a lot.
Okay, now we have Murnell, and then on deck is Rion Brooks.
Good morning.
Wait,
Yeah.
no. Okay, hello. Maya. Oregon. I've been farm for like 3 years. Yeah, I'm like forever grateful for working through farm because like realistically, I could be dead on the another black that's like failed by this stuff. And I don't know, I just really think working through farm gave me a chance not to grow emotionally and physically because I can have a lazy job, but I'm working hard in the fields. I'm connecting with my community. I'm connecting spiritually with my community and stuff like that. So I love, like, I never thought that I would be able to have the opportunity to be able to grow while working hard. And I'm forever because there's people don't have it. And I just, oh, I am, I don't know, I just grateful for that because it's allowed me to, and also those for like going to college and moving on, go to me. So I am forever for that grateful. Yeah. Yes. Right. Oh,
Thanks,
thank you. Thank
Josh.
you for that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. What else about working 30 farm? It is a lot connected, connected history of my people as well, giving back, and like obtaining the knowledge, actually, the soil, working hard, learning. Like I never knew stuff, but now, and for that, I'm forever grateful for real. And yeah, I love working dairy farm. I'll always miss it, and I'll always like it's my home, so it's my second home. And for that, yeah, forever grateful.
Maya.
Thank you. Thank you. Now we have Brianne Brooks.
Morning. My name is Ryan Brooks. I'm here to talk about Working Theory Farm. I've worked at the farm for about 9 months, and the first day that I joined, I was anxious to speak to people and join in. I've definitely had some social anxiety, so it's been hard for me to find a community where I felt welcomed in. But the moment I came in, everyone felt like I made sure I was welcomed and included, and I never felt left out. As a young, I am half Black. I have experienced bullying, and I have felt like I never truly fit in anywhere. But Working Theory Farm is a diverse community that empowers youth and gives them a voice that shows they never have to hide how they feel. The farm is so much more than just work to all of us youth. It's a family and a safe place where we can find the resources that we are needing. The farm is important to me because it feels like a family and it's a really good support system. I never felt like I could truly be my authentic self anywhere, not even at school, until I got to the farm. The farm has helped lots of youth in different ways. They help us with food and transportation, such as giving us bus passes when we need them. There has been lots of days where I have felt alone before joining the farm, And when I came, I just felt like I always had someone to talk to. Like everyone was always just very helpful. Um, the farm has just helped me in so many ways, and I'm forever grateful that I am given this opportunity to work here. I think that they are really for the community and that they care about their workers. They have given us lots of like they've taught us a lot of things. I've learned so much while I've been there. I learned a lot about farming and working hard and just opening up. I've even learned a lot about myself. I was a very non-social person until I got there, and it definitely made me feel like I could be open and be myself. Um, I have had a lot of memories there in the last 9 months. Um, Even like siblings day where I got to bring my cousin and everyone was just so kind to him. Everyone was so open and just inviting him and showing him and teaching. Like I think they are very good at teaching the youth how they can be hard workers and be adults.
Excellent. Thank you. Sincerely appreciate folks for joining us. Thank you for making time to provide public comment on Working Theory Farm.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Councilor Nolan.
um, we will have more time next week to
Yes, we will.
discuss this, but I just wanted to acknowledge the folks who've come here. My niece in Boston works on a very similar farm, and to have seen the personal impact that it has on the connection with the land, on the nurturing both of the crops and the humans, I'm impressed.
It's a beautiful farm for sure. All right, folks. This is our last official item on our meeting, so I will move to adjourn this council meeting. Our next regular meeting is scheduled for July 14th at 10 a.m., where we will have a work session to discuss large-scale community visions. It will be held at the Metro Council chambers. We'll see you soon, everyone. Thank you. And
Thanks.